In the heart of the Great Plains, amidst the endless skies and the windswept grasslands, a leader emerged who would become a symbol of resistance and dignity for his people. This is the story of Sitting Bull, the revered Hunkpapa Lakota chief, a warrior, a visionary, a spiritual guide. Born into the Hunkpapa band of the Lakota Sioux in the early 1830s, Sitting Bull was raised in the warrior tradition of his people, a life intimately connected with the land and the buffalo. From a young age, he was immersed in the ways of his ancestors, learning the skills and wisdom that would guide him throughout his life. Even as a young man, Sitting Bull showed an uncommon strength of character and a profound spiritual depth. He quickly rose to prominence among his people, not only for his courage in battle, but also for his wisdom and his unwavering commitment to the sovereignty and well-being of the Lakota. As the United States expanded westward, encroaching on the ancestral lands of the Lakota, Sitting Bull stood as a steadfast defender of his people's rights. His leadership would soon propel him into the center of a struggle for survival, a struggle that would define his legacy and leave an indelible mark on American history. Join us as we journey through the life of Sitting Bull, exploring his rise to leadership, his defiance against U.S. government policies, and his enduring legacy as a symbol of strength and resistance for the Lakota people and for all who value freedom and justice. In the early 1830s, in the heart of the Dakota Territory, a young Sitting Bull, known to his people as Tantaka Iota, began his journey amidst the rolling hills and rivers of his homeland. Born into the Hunkpapa Lakota tribe, his early years were a time of learning and growth, deeply rooted in the traditions and customs of his people. By the age of 14, Sitting Bull had already embarked on his first buffalo hunt, a pivotal moment that marked his passage into manhood. Demonstrating remarkable bravery and skill, he earned the respect of his elders and peers, foreshadowing his future as a leader and warrior. The Lakota way of life, rich in spiritual and cultural traditions, was the bedrock of Sitting Bull's upbringing. He was raised in a society that valued deep spiritual connection, respect for the natural world, and communal responsibility. These values were ingrained in him from a young age, shaping his worldview and guiding his path. As was customary for young Lakota men, Sitting Bull underwent a vision quest in his late teens, seeking spiritual guidance for his life's path. This profound experience, involving days of fasting and contemplation, led to powerful visions that would influence his leadership and decisions throughout his life. By his early 20s, Sitting Bull had emerged as a leader among the Hunkpapa. His voice in tribal councils carried the wisdom of someone far beyond his years. He spoke passionately about the rights and sovereignty of his people, advocating for the preservation of their lands and traditions. In the 1850s and 1860s, as tensions with the United States government escalated over territory and resources, Sitting Bull's leadership became crucial. He stood as a steadfast defender of Lakota sovereignty, earning him the respect and loyalty of his tribe. His commitment to his people's welfare and his unyielding stance against U.S. encroachment solidified his status as a revered leader, setting the stage for the pivotal conflicts to come. The discovery of gold in the Black Hills in the 1870s ignited a fierce conflict between the Lakota and the United States. The Black Hills, sacred to the Lakota, were promised to them in the Treaty of Fort Laramie in 1868. However, the U.S. government's desire for the land's resources led to a blatant disregard for the treaty, fueling tensions and leading to inevitable conflict. Sitting Bull, recognizing the threat to his people's sacred lands, became a leading voice for resistance. He called upon the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho tribes to unite in defense of their territories, emphasizing the importance of maintaining their sovereignty and cultural heritage. The Battle of the Little Bighorn, also known as Custer's Last Stand, became one of the most significant confrontations. Sitting Bull's strategic foresight played a crucial role in the battle. He had rallied a large force of Native American warriors, and through his spiritual influence and tactical acumen, He helped orchestrate a historic victory against General George Armstrong Custer's 7th Cavalry. The battle was a resounding victory for the Lakota and their allies. It marked a moment of triumph and unity for the Plains tribes, but it also intensified the U.S. government's resolve to subdue the Native American resistance. The victory at Little Bighorn was not without cost. Many Lakota warriors and families faced hardship, loss, and displacement as a result of the ongoing conflicts. The stories of these individuals reflect the personal toll of the struggle, the pain of loss, the resilience in the face of adversity, and the enduring spirit of the Lakota people. For the Lakota, the battle was more than a military engagement. It was a fight for their future, their identity, and their very existence. The personal stories of these families, their struggles, and their perseverance are a poignant reminder of the human cost of these conflicts and the enduring strength of the Lakota spirit. The victory at Little Bighorn, while significant, brought increased military pressure on the Lakota. The U.S. government, determined to quell Native American resistance, intensified its efforts to force the Lakota onto reservations. This period marked a turning point as the freedom of the Plains tribes faced its greatest threat. In the wake of Little Bighorn, the Lakota, along with their allies, faced relentless pursuit by U.S. forces. The once free nomadic life of the Plains Indians was increasingly constrained, leading to hardship and suffering for many families. In 1881, after years of resistance and evasion, Sitting Bull, along with a group of his followers, surrendered to U.S. authorities. His surrender marked the end of an era for the Lakota. He was held as a prisoner of war at Fort Randall for 2 years before being transferred to the Standing Rock Reservation. Life on the reservation was a stark contrast to the freedom of the plains. The Lakota, including Sitting Bull, faced numerous challenges, from adapting to a sedentary lifestyle to dealing with government policies that aimed to assimilate them. Despite these hardships, Sitting Bull remained a steadfast leader, advocating for his people's rights and welfare. Even in these trying times, Sitting Bull's leadership shone through. He continued to be a spiritual leader and a symbol of resistance for his people. He encouraged the Lakota to maintain their cultural practices and to resist the erosion of their identity. Sitting Bull's wisdom and diplomatic skills were evident as he navigated the complexities of life on the reservation. He tirelessly advocated for the rights of the Lakota, striving to secure a better future for his people under challenging circumstances. In the late 1880s, a new spiritual movement swept across Native American reservations. Known as the Ghost Dance, it was founded by the Paiute prophet Wovoka, promising the restoration of the Native American way of life and the return of their lands. Among the Lakota, this movement gained significant traction, symbolizing hope and renewal. Sitting Bull, ever the spiritual leader of his people, initially observed the Ghost Dance with curiosity. As the movement grew, he saw it as a beacon of hope, a peaceful form of resistance. His involvement lent the movement considerable influence among the Lakota. The Ghost Dance, with its powerful message of hope and change, struck fear into the hearts of U.S. authorities. They misconstrued the movement as a militant uprising. The peaceful gatherings and dances were seen as a threat that needed to be quelled. The U.S. government, in a bid to suppress the Ghost Dance, increased its military presence around the reservations. Tensions escalated as troops were deployed, setting the stage for a tragic confrontation. On the chilling morning of December 15, 1890, U.S. authorities arrived at Sitting Bull's cabin to arrest him. They feared he would join the Ghost Dancers and incite a rebellion. The situation quickly spiraled out of control. As his people gathered in protest, a scuffle broke out. In the confusion, shots were fired. When the smoke cleared, Sitting Bull, the great Lakota leader, lay dead. His assassination marked a tragic end to a life dedicated to the freedom and dignity of his people. Sitting Bull's death was not just a personal tragedy. It symbolized the end of an era for the Lakota and the Plains tribes. The hope that the ghost dance had kindled was overshadowed by grief and despair. Sitting Bull's assassination remains a poignant reminder of the struggles faced by Native Americans in their fight for survival and dignity. Sitting Bull's legacy extends far beyond the chapters of history. Today, he stands as an enduring symbol of resistance and the fight for Native American rights. His courage, wisdom, and unyielding spirit continue to inspire generations, serving as a powerful reminder of the resilience of indigenous peoples. In the broader context of American history, Sitting Bull's story holds a place of profound significance. His life and struggles shed light on the complex and often painful history of Native American and U.S. government relations. Today, his story resonates deeply in discussions about indigenous rights, sovereignty, and cultural preservation. Sitting Bull's life and legacy have inspired countless artists, writers, and filmmakers. From powerful biographies to artistic representations, his story continues to captivate and educate, reflecting his lasting impact on culture and society. Sitting Bull's journey from a revered Lakota leader to a symbol of Native American resistance and dignity is a testament to the enduring spirit of indigenous peoples. His life, marked by both triumph and tragedy, offers enduring lessons about courage, leadership, and the importance of standing up for one's beliefs. As we reflect on Sitting Bull's legacy, we are reminded of the importance of understanding and respecting indigenous cultures and histories. His story is not just a chapter in the past. It is a continuous source of inspiration, urging us to pursue justice and equality for all.